In this video, we're going to talk about Slack. I honestly don't know how I lived without it. So what is Slack? At the end of the day, Slack is an instant messaging chat room or list of chat rooms that you can have for your team, your organization, your whatever, and you can delegate certain chat rooms that are geared towards a specific client, project, department, whatever you want that should be discussed in the topic of that chat room. Now, why is this so important? Everything that we do in business is email. Let's face it, email freaking sucks. Everyone hates email. The more you can minimize email and the less you have to do inside email, the better your email will actually become and the more efficient your teams can become. Why? Because emails all come from one thread. And I'm sure you've experienced the same thing where an email topic or a subject that at first was being discussed all of a sudden turns into something else and then starts having its own living and breathing thread. And the next thing you know, one thread is 50 emails long and the topics are starting to splinter off into many other discussions. What's so helpful with Slack is you can minimize that because you can reference things, it's way more searchable, it's easy to use, and the integrations make life so easy. So why should you get on Slack? First off, it's free. You heard me right, it's free. It's built on a freemium model, meaning you get up to 10,000 indexed messages before you need to pay. And what I mean by before you need to pay, I mean to be able to search past that. You could have it for free for the rest of your life if you wanted to. You just wouldn't be able to search more than 10,000 archived messages. Slack is amazing because it helps unify people in a central place. It's great on mobile phone, it's great on desktop, and it has an awesome web browser app associated with it as well. Perfect tool, amazing for collaboration. If you're not using it now, I highly suggest you get on it. Here are some quick rules you need to keep in mind. Just like with email, context is key. So make sure that if you're typing something, a lot of us can get lazy with chat because we're used to text messaging and everything else, so we might abbreviate things a little bit too much, or we might condense things too much. But feel free to elaborate. Where are these things? Where is such and such and such and such that's due at this time? Provide more context so people can communicate a lot easier and a lot faster with you. Everything is on mobile, so keep in mind and establish set times of what you expect of people. Because it's on mobile, it's almost like text messages nowadays. If someone doesn't send you a reply from a text message within 5 minutes, you're pissed because you feel like they're ignoring you. Make sure you set realistic guidelines. How long is it going to take for us to reply to each other? When are we willing to jump on Slack? When are we not? When are we going to be accessible? When we set ourselves as away, does that mean we're really away? Make sure you nail out all those details so you're not letting anyone else down and people don't feel pressured too much to always be responding. The third thing is make it fun. Make sure there's great tools like Hüify or other things that provide a lot more light inside of it. It's a communication tool, so make sure you utilize people, you highlight personal experiences, and GIFs are a perfect way to do that. So make sure you include GIFs. You can utilize the Hüify extension or whatever else, but also I would set some realistic boundaries because at first your team's probably gonna go crazy with GIFs and hopefully it'll find some even balance. The last and most important detail is adoption is mandatory. If you don't have everyone's buy-in, it's not going to be utilized. Why? Because it's another app. It's another something. It's something besides email. I'm already in email and now you're telling me I have to get into something else? Yes, absolutely. Make sure you have complete buy-in and everyone is using it for communication. Make sure that people feel left out if they're not in there or they feel like they're completely out of the loop unless they're in Slack. I'm in a few organizations where they still use text messages and emails and Slack to communicate or send out messages. Because of that, there hasn't been a mass adoption. Now, all of the organizations that have forced Slack are working really, really well and communication is booming. So adoption is mandatory. As you can tell, we are all about Slack, and so should you. Check out the link below. Don't forget to subscribe if you like these videos, and feel free to comment a tool that you like that you want us to highlight on these videos.